What's up? So for today's video, I'm finally gonna make myself a flamethrower. A flamethrower. A flamethrower. A flamethrower. Or technically, not a flamethrower. The Boring Company, they sold these for a short time. They sold out actually really quick, but I found all the parts that they actually use to make that flamethrower. It's really simple stuff. You have your basic torch, also have a big hulky plastic airsoft gun that you're gonna have to take apart and put that torch into, and then just some tubing that you need to buy so that it fits a small propane tank, and of course a little bicycle bottle holder, and you'll have your very own flamethrower. This is an extra hose that we had to buy. This is the original hose that comes with it. The only thing we need from the old original hose is just this connector right here. So we're gonna start off first by removing this old connector.
One eternity later.
After a minor setback, I have made this. I cut one end of a different fitting like this off, stuck it in this end here, soldered it in place, made sure that it was gas tight. I mean, it only took me like a few days to get this figured out and properly set. I went to a bunch of different stores, tried to find different fittings. For some reason, none of them fit, and I didn't want to have a bunch of like weird connectors. This is what we have now. So the next step is to disassemble our airsoft gun in order to make room for our torch. Don't forget to break the airsoft gun as you take it apart. Oops. I was expecting this to be a lot easier than it actually is. So let me give you the rundown. So I've got everything here taken apart. The problem is this unit right here, this piece right here, it actually provides a lot of stability, and it's a mounting point for a lot of the parts that actually keep this gun together. And now that this piece is gone, you see you got your two screw holes on the bottom here. You got your screw hole for the back for the stock of the gun, and other pins and such that go through it. For example, this one here, there's a pin that goes through there that kind of locks the frame in place, and same thing here. Because once I remove it, I can't physically attach the stock. I can't attach the handle. So it actually has some holes inside, but inside here there's nothing to attach to. And so right now, if I were to install the flamethrower, I'll have a hard time using it because everything's gonna fall out. So there's actually quite a bit of fabricating that I'm gonna need to do. Got an idea for solving the issue with mounting this handle. So I have some resin that I'm thinking of filling the void. It's a really fast setting resin, so I think if I can hot glue this handle onto the gun itself, kind of seal it in place, hopefully that will work. Okay, so I have hot glued everything together. Hopefully there's no spaces where the resin can get through. I'm going to be using a really fast set resin, so it shouldn't have an issue if there is a slight leak. So you can tell I've got some metal tape in there, I've got some hot glue, I've got a piece of acrylic to prevent it from going out here and down by the trigger. So hopefully this will work. Here's the resin I'm going to be using. It's fast cast, it's called Onyx. The handle now, it's filled up to like right about here. The rest of it's all filled with plastic. So the next step is to disassemble the torch in order to straighten out the body of the torch so that I can fit it inside the airsoft gun. After straightening out the body of the torch, I double checked, made sure all the parts still worked, made sure the igniter still ignited properly before I shifted on over to the trigger. And here's what we have so far with the actual gun itself. So I went ahead and I drilled out a few spots here so that I have room for this fitting and also the hose clamp that I've got on there. Here is the trigger. So I've cut it, I bent it. Next part is attaching the metal pipe to this support here. And what I've got is some 2-part sculpting epoxy, and you mix it together by hand and use it kind of like clay, and it hardens after.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. Storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
2 hours later.
After letting the epoxy cure for a few hours, I disassembled the Airsoft gun in order to install the igniter switch.
Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on
Once the igniter switch was installed, the Airsoft gun was screwed back together and is no longer an Airsoft gun, but
Hey. Hold up. If you turn around, you gon' face the lead. Shooting from above, go to sleep, you dead,